Hello, my name is Father Justin, and today's video is one of a series about preparing your children for their first confession. Now, this video is about examination of conscience, and that means thinking about what mistakes or sins that I may have committed and that I may need to confess to a priest. Now, traditionally, when kids or even adults prepare for confession, sometimes they are given the Ten Commandments, and then they're asked, if you read through the Ten Commandments, maybe you can think about these and ones that you have not observed and confess them to a priest. Now, I think it's a good idea to teach the Ten Commandments to both children and adults, but it isn't the ideal document for conducting an examination of conscience. The Ten Commandments are important because they are proof, they're tangible evidence that God has a covenant with the people of Israel. In some sense, they were in the Old Testament a proto-sacrament. In fact, the Ten Commandments were so important to the people of Israel that they placed them in the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant was placed in the most important space in the temple in Jerusalem, known as the Holy of Holies. The Ten Commandments were very important to the people of Israel because, again, they were proof that God had a covenant with the people of Israel. Now, for us as Christians, it is Jesus Christ who gives us the law. It's Jesus Christ who interprets the law, and it's Jesus Christ who actually is the law, meaning that we have to observe the law of Jesus Christ if we want to go to heaven. Now, having said that, there are 3 commandments that are important that you can mention to your kids. The first is the first commandment: you shall have no other gods before God in heaven. The third commandment is honor the Sabbath, or obey the Sabbath, meaning that we are called to participate on Mass on Sunday because it's a remembrance of the Passion of the Lord and because we receive Jesus Christ in communion. The fourth commandment says that we have to be respectful of our mother and father, and what that's saying is that we have to show respect to our parents and also to people in positions of authority. Now, on top of that, something else that your kids can think about are these 7 vices, or these 7 deadly sins that were mentioned in antiquity. Even thousands of years ago, societies and communities, especially Western society, Roman antiquity, understood that certain personality habits or dispositions were bad. So among those 7 deadly vices are envy and pride and anger and gluttony. And those are things that are sins even if they don't cause harm to someone else. So I can harbor envy in my heart. That doesn't mean that I act on it, but it can still be a sin. In fact, if we have these bad habits harbored in our heart, in other words, if we harbor anger in our heart for our entire lives, or if we harbor jealousy in our heart for our entire lives, or if we harbor pride inside of ourselves for our entire lives, those bad habits can completely alienate us from the Lord and prevent us from going to heaven. So it's worth confessing those bad habits. Now, having mentioned the 10 Commandments and also these 7 vices that are bad, my suggestion as a rule of thumb is that we think about 3 things before we go into confession. First, we should think about any bad habits that we have, and those bad habits should be confessed to the priest. They may be bad habits like jealousy, they may be bad habits like anger, they may be other bad habits that adults engage in that need to be confessed to the priest. The second thing that we confess to the priest is any time that we have caused harm to another person. So that means if we have argued with another individual, if we have instigated a disagreement with someone else, if we have fought with someone else, if we have gossiped and caused harm about someone else, then those are matters that we need to confess to a priest. And the third thing that we should think about in confession, or that we might confess to a priest, are those times that we have been disobedient to God, those times that we have shown God a lack of respect or shown the Christian faith a lack of respect, and those times that we have been disrespectful or disobeyed a legitimate authority, such as our parents, a teacher, a priest, or a law enforcement authority. So when we go to confession, my suggestion is that a short way to prepare for confession and to conduct an examination of conscience is 1, to think about our bad habits. They should be confessed to a priest. 2, we should think about those times we have caused harm to other people. And 3, we should think about those times that we have disobeyed God, been disrespectful to God, or disobeyed or been disrespectful to our parents or people in positions of authority. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to ask our instructors, or you can call or email me. And in the meantime, have an awesome day and take care.